Only 8% of people watching this video will make it to the end. If you click off, you're proving my point. Can you give me your complete attention for the next few minutes? No skipping, no speeding up, no scrolling down to read the comments, no opening other tabs. You clicked on this video because you know your attention span is wrecked. If you click off, you're saying, I don't care. That is fine, except it makes zero sense because you clicked on a video about fixing your attention span just to prove you don't care about it. In this video, I'm going to give tips straight from behavior change experts on how to stop scrolling. By the way, these are going to be rapid fire, so make sure to take notes. Before we dive in, grab my free health and fitness guide from the description below. It might be the first real step toward breaking free from mindless scrolling and taking control of your life. Now, let's get into it. Why do you keep doing this? You're not even enjoying it, yet you keep scrolling. Most people say it's just dopamine, but dopamine isn't just a feel-good chemical. It's what keeps you chasing novelty. Every scroll convinces you that the next post might be the one. But since the feed never ends, you get trapped in an infinite loop. Neuroscientist Andrew Huberman explains that dopamine isn't a simple up and down spike. You have a baseline level, and at first, social media feels exciting. But the longer you scroll, the less satisfying it becomes. You keep going, searching for that one rewarding post until you're disappointed. And when you stop, your dopamine doesn't just go back to zero, it drops below baseline. So you reach for your phone again, trying to bring that dopamine back up. This cycle is a trap designed by huge teams of psychologists hired by companies whose only job is to figure out how to keep you addicted to their apps. But you can break free. If you're still here, you're already one step ahead. So step number one is to decide ahead of time when you'll allow yourself to scroll, instead of trying to avoid it altogether. Many people want to cut back on social media, but just focusing on not scrolling can make you think about your phone even more. Research shows that it's more effective to set a goal based on what you want to do, rather than what you want to avoid. So instead of saying, I won't use my phone all day, schedule specific times for scrolling. For instance, give yourself 30 minutes with your morning coffee, another 30 minutes to an hour after work, or even a quick break during the day. When your brain starts to crave your phone, you'll have a set time to enjoy it later, which can help you manage your social media use better. Before we go to the next step, if you want to break free from social media, I suggest you educate yourself by reading some books, especially the one called 10 Arguments for Deleting Your Social Media Accounts Right Now. It reveals how social media is designed to manipulate your behavior, invade privacy, and fuel your addiction without you even realizing it. If you value your freedom, mental clarity, and real-life connections, this book is your wake-up call, so grab it now. You can have it for free as an audiobook. The links are in the description below. Now let's continue. That brings us right into step number 2, where you plan something else for the time when you normally scroll. For a lot of people, the hardest time to avoid their phone is late at night, between 8 and 11 p.m. If you don't have a plan, you'll get sucked right back in. So think about activities that give you the same kind of satisfaction as scrolling, but keep you off your phone. A lot of people make the mistake of replacing scrolling with something they should do, like meditation, when they don't even enjoy it. That's just setting yourself up to fail. Instead, swap scrolling for something you actually like doing. Maybe it's playing a video game, watching a movie, or hanging out with friends. Having a fun, planned activity makes it much easier to stay off your phone without feeling like you're missing out. That brings us to step number 3, where I want you to ask yourself, why am I so drawn to my phone in the first place? For a lot of people, scrolling fills a need. Maybe you're looking for connection. Watching other people's lives makes you feel less alone. Or maybe you're stressed about work, and scrolling helps distract you from the anxiety. Whatever the reason, your replacement habit from tip number 2 should meet the same need. If you're craving connection, call a friend instead of just watching their Instagram stories. If scrolling helps with anxiety, try something that keeps your hands busy, like coloring, playing with a stress ball, or even solving a simple puzzle. When you replace scrolling with something that works for you, it's way easier to break the habit. That leads us to step 4, because if you want to cut back on scrolling, you need to make it easier for yourself by setting up your environment the right way. A lot of people feel like they cannot sleep with their phones across the room. They need it right there with them. If you feel the same, okay, that's fine. But during the times when you're most tempted to scroll, like in the evening, can you put it somewhere else, even temporarily? For example, if you have a charging station in the kitchen during your bedtime routine, put your phone there. If you don't like keeping your phone far away while you sleep, no problem. Start small by trying to be phone-free at certain times during the day, where you create a specific spot to put it. That way, your environment works for you, not against you, and slowly helps you become accustomed to being away from your phone. Step 5, use technology. If you struggle with self-control when it comes to scrolling, let technology help you out. Most phones already have a setting that lets you block or allow certain apps at specific times. But if that's not enough, there are stronger options out there. These apps let let you set restrictions and will physically lock you out of apps like Instagram and TikTok when you decide. So get an app that allows absolutely no loopholes, just a solid way to cut down your screen time. Now, this one might sound impossible to you, but I highly recommend doing a social media detox at least once a month. When it comes to technology, taking a break can be life-changing. For example, you can choose to completely stay off social media for 48 hours every Friday. Then you can attempt to stay a week, or even up to an entire month without it. Trust me, it's one of the best gifts you can give to yourself. Going cold turkey like this helps reset your relationship with your phone and makes it easier to control your screen time moving forward. The next step to stop scrolling is to tap into your future self. Picture the person you want to be in 3, 6, or even 12 months. How does that version of you handle their phone? Are they still scrolling pointlessly past midnight, or have they built better habits? If you're thinking, I have no clue what my future self looks like, that's okay. A good way to start is by identifying the habits and values that matter most to you. What kind of daily routine would your future self follow? How much time would they spend on their phone versus being present in real life? The clearer your vision of your future self, the easier it becomes to make better choices now. Every time you're tempted to scroll mindlessly, ask yourself, is this what my future self would do? If not, take a step in the right direction today. The next important step is to track your progress and celebrate your wins, because that keeps you motivated and prevents you from slipping back. Behavior change research shows that focusing on what's going right keeps you committed to your goals. And when it comes to stop scrolling, this is especially important. We often assume it should be easy to just put our phones down, but as I mentioned earlier, we're up against entire teams of psychologists at companies like Meta. Their only job is to design these apps in a way that keeps you hooked as much as possible. If anyone claims that breaking free from is simple, they're simply lying, and that's why every step forward deserves recognition. If you cut down your screen time, stuck to your planned scrolling hours, or simply resisted the urge to check your phone a few extra times today, treat yourself. Those small wins add up, making it easier to stay on track. Building on that, the next step is to show yourself some compassion. I know how frustrating it can be to realize you're spending more time watching other people's lives on social media than actually living your own. It's easy to beat yourself up over it, but guilt won't help you move forward. Instead of blaming yourself for past habits, try looking at your phone use with curiosity. Ask yourself, what purpose is my scrolling serving? What small changes can I make? Approaching this with a neutral, problem-solving mindset rather than shame sets the foundation for real, lasting change. And that takes us to the next important point: exercise. Working out is a dopamine detox. Exercise resets your baseline. A 20-minute sprint floods your brain with endorphins, natural dopamine that doesn't leave you hollow. So if you're craving TikTok, do push-ups. A 2023 study found 10 minutes of exercise reduces urge to scroll by 30%. It says that 150 minutes of weekly exercise boosts focus by 40%. The fact is, humans evolved to move. Your body's screaming for action, not another 4 a.m. TikTok binge. If your phone is a distraction, your body is the solution. It can feel overwhelming to start, so that's why I'm telling you to download my free health and fitness guide from the description below. Grab it, it's free, and take it as your first step to stop scrolling and live the life you are meant to. If you're still here, legit, you're part of the 8%, the elite, the ones who didn't tap out. But here's the deal. Watching this video doesn't make you special. Acting on it does. Take these steps, practice them, and in 2 weeks, you'll be a changed person. And if you want more no BS, science-backed tips to level up your life, hit that subscribe button. Grab my free health and fitness guide if you haven't already, and don't forget to take a look at the book. It will change your life. Don't scroll your life away.